So, good evening. It's MIchele Ho Lung here. It's the 36th episode of the Sparkle Experience Show. And tonight I have with me Ron Levinson. Okay, where is Ron? Ron, just a little technical issue started a little late tonight. Apologies for that. And we'll just put Ron where he is right
Yeah,
now.
we're sorry, I'm blurred.
Blurred, yes, we had internet problems too at Ron's, and he had no internet a few minutes ago, so we had to try and get him back on. So happy, Ron, to have you here tonight. We have a really important topic tonight, radon gas. It's more
Well,
radon gas, where we're talking about the importance of the awareness of these two things, right, Ron?
yes, well, it's two of the most undiagnosed health issues in the world, literally. That's what
Yeah.
we're going to talk about tonight. Okay. Um, but let's start first with the radon issue. But first, what I want to kind of explain to people, number one, is different terms, because the minute people hear about air pollution, the first thing they think about is outside air. That's just it's natural. It's just for well, it's not what you want to think about. Air pollution is indoors. Indoor air pollution by science is the worst air pollution on the planet. It averages 2 to 5 times worse than outdoors. It can be as much as 100 times worse than outdoors. They've determined that's pretty much where everything from cancer to autism to pretty much all diseases are being started from. But radon is one of the silent killers in the world. Most people don't know about radon. Radon is a color. It first of all, it comes from the ground. It's in your soil. It's in the rocks. It's in the ground, and it penetrates up through the home. It's degraded uranium in the ground, is what it is. There's no way you can get rid of it. You could just you could control it. They've discovered that pretty much 90% of people have have doses of radon in their home, low doses to medium doses to very severe doses. Now they just did a in it was in
Illinois?
Illinois. They found 45% of the homes had high unsafe doses of radon. Okay. Keep in mind, you'll never know you have radon unless you have a gauge. Radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer in the world, next to smoking.
I think,
Now,
Ron, I think
smokers,
there was a study with minors. They say minors are exposed a lot to like low
yes,
radon levels, and it's
well, yeah, because they're
cumulative,
under the ground. They're in the ground.
and it's cumulative, right? So it's not a matter of how
It's very
big it is.
it's very that's exactly right. It's very even low doses of radon accumulates in your lungs. Radon is a toxic. It's a gas. Basically, it's a gas. Okay, when I say you can't see it or smell it, that's the problem with it. Now, the cold oxygen plasma units that we use will neutralize the effect of radons. It's sterilizing your lungs. It will lower the numbers. Now, we have people using it right now that had gauges in their home that were running very, very high, anywhere pushing 3.5 to 4, which are unhealthy. It lowered it to as low as 0.20 at times. Now, radon will go up and down. That's the problem with radon. Is some days it can spike very high, and then some days it will be much lower. It kind of with the weather, so to speak. So
Well, you
there's
mentioned
no
with
way to.
Pam, you mentioned with Pam over the summer when it got really hot in Portland that she told you that her radon levels all of a sudden spiked. So you told her
But
to get a second
I went and did some research. It's normal for radon, no matter what the weather is, to get radon spikes throughout your home. Some days there's no rhyme or reason. They say some days it will just spike a lot more, and you get more radon, which is a form of radiation to your home that you're breathing in your lungs. That's the problem. And people that are also smokers and radon is really almost a death sentence. Now lung cancer is the #1 form of cancer in the world now. So you got to imagine, not everyone smokes anymore, and they're still getting lung cancer. I'm sure people hear stories all the time about these amazing athletes that been a vegan and a non-smoker and run marathons, and later in life they come down with lung cancer or something, and they say, why? Well, this is why. You know, it's a cumulative. Now, after doing thousands of hours of research, radon comes from limestone. That's primary what is in the ground. The limestone is a conduit for radon. Right now, they dig up limestone and it's now used in, that's your main ingredient in concrete. They're finding radon in your granite and marble countertops because it's a stone. It's a stone that comes from the ground. That radon has been absorbed in it, even low doses. Okay, it's also in drywall because they use that same cement with the limestone on drywall. Now, I think I forwarded you some time ago the different building materials that have radon in. So they've proven. So you take a home or a huge type of building that's been built on a concrete slab. Well, first of all, if there's any cracks in that slab and there's radon, it will leak up through the concrete to begin with and the walls. But then the actual concrete is putting out low doses of radon.
Yeah,
Okay,
this
and there
article
again,
here, this article here covers that you
yes,
sent.
yeah, it's a cumulative. People don't understand what they're breathing in. You can't control cold oxygen plasma or cold atmospheric plasma or non-thermal plasma is all the same thing. It's the only scientific uh, product known to man that can control toxic gases. There is no air purifier on the planet that kills or controls toxic gases. They're lying. I can prove anything. I'm more than happy to give anybody all the information to back up anything that we're saying or personal consultation. So radon is something that you need to test your house for. It's not that expensive, and I recommend that everybody have a cold plasma unit in their basement or the lower floors because of that. You know, it's there's two ways pollutants enter your body. Actually, it's one way is mainly your lungs, but there's two forms of pollutants that they say. There's gases, which all your chemicals like the radon turns into a gas. The next is particulate matter, which are the small little fine particles that are in the air. Well, those little particles are like little sponges. Okay, if they're floating around in your home and you have radon, they're absorbing that gas and then you're breathing that in too. So it's another conduit to get it into your lungs. Okay, there is no other way for what they call toxic gases or particulate matter. That's the two major components that is literally affecting humanity globally. And the only way to eliminate that, I hope people will do their research. They've the cold atmospheric plasma. Now, like I say, it won't literally eliminate the radon. What it's going to do, it's going to lower the numbers, but it's going to penetrate and cleanse your lungs where the radon that you're breathing in is not going to affect your lungs. Okay, just like the mold issue. But you got to understand, remember, folks, you have it. I promise you, between radon and mold, you have it. Okay, that's why I really recommend that people just Google these things. They can verify anything that MIchele and myself are talking about. You can verify these things. We're here to help people. I've had people with mold issues. You can smell mold. We take and I hook up. I've done homes with very moldy, and I put my cold plasma power zone unit in there, and it neutralizes it in a matter of a half hour. It's gone. Well, that's what our unit does. Once you have one in your home, it won't build up to begin with. That's the beauty
Well,
of
in episode 33, you just showed me a slice of cheese. Can you
yeah,
show it?
I would show it now, but it's so blurry. Well,
Yeah.
that's going back now. Let's discuss mold a little bit, okay? Mold. There's numerous articles on mold. There's over a couple hundred different strains of mold. 100% of the homes have some form of mold. They've tested homes. They tested 100 homes. 100 homes have mold. There's no home around that's been built that doesn't have some form of mold. Okay, not all mold is going to kill you like black mold, But these are the things that people got to understand over time between mold in your home and the radon and all of the other pollutants, which we'll talk about at another time, is deteriorating your nervous system, your immune system, and your endocrine system. Now they've already determined that mold doctors are not trained to diagnose mold issues. Mold issues have been determined to cause psychiatric issues. People that live in a mold infested area, it affects their brain, literally. Okay, you got to understand it's serious. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not going to kill you. Well, it will kill you sooner or later if you
Well,
don't
I
do
think
something.
it also fogs up the brain too, so it affects your thinking,
Many things,
and
many
that it
things.
also affects your your digestive system too. Because I know somebody who had mold, and he was nauseous, and he didn't know
Well,
what it was.
that's
He
the
had a
whole thing,
malaise, you know.
Michelle. That's the whole thing. Mold can affect everybody differently.
That's right.
It's there. Okay, it can affect the one thing that people got to realize, and this is science talking through generations. I'm older. I'm going to be pushing 80. Okay, so from generation to generation, each generation's immune system has got weaker and weaker. DNA has changed in people, and it's been determined that it's been coming to the pollutants that you're breathing in your home. Now your lungs are the engine of your body. Your heart is the fuel, like the fuel pump. But everything that's in your body enters through your lungs. So keep in mind, anything you're breathing in, whether it be mold or fumes or whatever, is going in your lungs, and then it gets dispersed to other parts of your body. That's why it affects everybody and does different things to different bodies on different ways. That's why they say it's the number one undiagnosed issue in the world is mold. Now you got black mold, which is dangerous. You can see black mold. Okay. Once you have one of our units in your home, mold will never grow to begin with. It eliminates the growth of mold, so you will never have mold. If you do have mold, what it's going to do, mold puts out its own pollutants into the air. It kills all that instantly. Plus, if air is getting to the mold, which it usually is, it will stop mold at its source. Okay, there is no other product in the world that can do this.
Well,
No
we
other
have
product.
evidence on episode 33. I did my own, and the pictures are on episode 33, about 11 minutes into the episode. And I have the mold, and actually it's now December, it's now January 15th. I had that mold, took it out of the fridge November 7th. It's been on my counter in my house this whole time, and from the time I took it out of the fridge, that little bit of mold has not progressed, the mold that's exposed to the cold oxygen plasma in my house.
Right.
But the other mold that I took out later than that, and I covered it up with saran wrap, that mold has taken off and it hasn't stopped growing.
Sure. Yeah.
You
Right.
know, so it
Because
proves
yeah,
to me
it breeds. It breeds. Right.
definitively that it does in fact kill and stop mold in its tracks. Because
Well,
that
there
mold,
again,
you know what, the cheese, Ron, you mentioned to me that cheese produces water. It condensates. It's still doing that, even though it's dried
right.
up and it's like
Yes.
plastic. It looks plasticky, but there's still moisture being generated by this cheese, and there's no mold in it. It's
Well, there's actually
amazing.
HTO. There's actually HTO in the process of the cold oxygen plasma, so it does create a little bit of moisture. See,
Yeah, but even then,
that's
you
the
know, it's
beauty.
not still, it's not creating any mold in this cheese, and you know,
No,
that's
well,
just
that's the beauty of our product. You can actually see it work. There's no air purifier on the market, folks, that does anything. And I'm going to make a very bold statement. You're wasting your money. There's proof and proof and proof. Uh, and I'm going to be trying to make contact with some of these um, other podcasts because they need to talk about this because there's a doctor called Dr. Terry DeBow. He's a reality doctor on Botch TV, where he's a Beverly Hills plastic surgeon, and he's pushing this product called the Uvalizer. okay, and it will kill people literally. Michelle, I sent you that
Is that the
video
one
that
with it's like a light bulb and then the guy comes on and he says, you have to make sure you're not around because it will kill you.
you
So
can't even be in the
turn
room.
it off
Well,
and make sure you don't have any living plants because it might kill that too. So you need to leave your house so it will sanitize your home while you're away. And then when you come in, you plug it up quickly so it doesn't affect you.
but he's lying. It doesn't sanitize because what it's doing is, when I say they're very dangerous, what it's doing is it's exposing a UVC bulb. UVC bulbs they do sterilize. That's what you saw at the beginning of the pandemic when they were sterilizing hospitals and airplanes, and they had robots because you can't be near it. If it's going to do its job, it's got to be hundreds of
But
watts.
that's what this
So
guy was
imagine,
saying.
well, here, imagine now you have this in your room, and you set the timer, and your child happens to walk in that room, and this lights are exposed. It will blind them. It will literally blind them if your child looks at this light. It will
Because the
kill
light
your
isn't
plant.
exposed. It's not covered up at all. It's just in full
It's
view.
not covered. It's an exposed light. That's why I'm saying they're extremely dangerous. A UVC bulb is in every air purifier on the planet. Okay, that's how it's sterilized, or I use the word steril. That's how it supposedly cleanses your so-called room, because it sucks the air like a vacuum cleaner from the air, which has all your little particles in it, that filter system underneath that UVC light, and that's what it does. But it has to be, doesn't do anything else in the room. It's not sterilizing your room. No air purifier on
Oh,
the
so
planet.
that lamp is what you're saying is it's just sterilizing the air that pulls through it, but the
No, it's got
surface
to
is.
be inches from it. Yes, and for it to kill any kind of bacteria, germs, or viruses, which it will do, it has to be inches from it.
Oh,
Literally
so
inches from it.
only if that filter, that fan sucks in the air past this UV light bulb, does it kill anything, is what you're saying.
Yes, but also what that particular product is doing, it's producing a lot of ozone chemical. And
Oh, it
ozone,
does?
that's exactly what it does. That's why they want you to leave the room. You didn't
Oh,
read it. It's like an ozone generator. I
because
sent you a
ozone
video
is not
where it
good for
showed
you
it
by
it
itself.
it killed the plants. A guy on YouTube did a video of it, and it showed how, because he was curious, and it tells you how you can't leave your pets in the room, or your plants in the room, or anything else in the room.
We're
And he
living
left
it.
a plant. He left a plant in the room, and it showed how the plant is now dying.
Which is
Well,
interesting
that's what.
because Ron, this brings to mind one of our customers, right? And she isn't she says she's not sure it's helping her with anything, but she says, but I had a plant and the plant
Yes.
lost all its leaves. So she said just because she felt like doing it, she took the plant and put it right beside the unit, and then the plant started growing leaves.
Yes.
And it's growing healthily now. So that's the opposite effect of the UV cold oxygen plasma generator that we're talking about here, to the one that UVC light bulb, whatever that is.
They're very dangerous.
No, but
Not
I'm
only
saying the
that.
TRU, the unit we're talking to people getting, this one is totally the opposite effect.
Totally safe. This I haven't shut my machine in 18 years. This is the strongest, safest, fast form of sterilization known to man. I've been living with mine for 18 years. It literally changed my life and changed my health. I have not been sick in 18 years. Not a cold, not a flu, not a sniffles, not a sore throat. Okay, I can go on and on and on of what it could do. Now the ozone generators. There's a new article I just found. It creates its own chemical that mixes with other VOCs in the room, that creates a new chemical that's very dangerous. When you mix the ozone chemical with all the other volatile organic chemicals that are in your atmosphere, it's creating another chemical that's making it even more dangerous.
So it's
And
a
this
cocktail.
is science. This is science now, folks. I'm not making things up. This is anything. This is things you can validate. Now the beauty about cold atmospheric plasma, when I say you can physically see it work, the particulate matter that's being in your home, you can see all the dust particles floating around in your air. That's the particulate matter. Those are the sponges that you're breathing in. Well, cold oxygen plasma eliminates that. It takes it all out of the air. The actual process, even though you can't see it, is 2.5 times heavier than air, but you will be able to see in your light stream no dust in your air. I take a flashlight and I demonstrate to people. I can take a flashlight and I point it to my palm. You can see that area of the bright light, and you can see the air. It's pure. There's nothing floating around. That's what it does for people. And when you first walk into that room and you don't have that unit, you're breathing all these particles in. People don't realize that. It's things that are cumulative that builds up over a
So then
period of time.
the important thing though is on the gauge I have, hold on. The gauge I have, it has a reading that is 2.5. This is gauge, it's initializing right now. It's 2.5 nanometers, and then there's a 10 nanometer reading. So two of them. How it was explained to me is that the 2.5 nanometer particles are extremely dangerous to us because those fine particles get absorbed into the lung tissue and all the other tissues, and we cannot cough it
That's
out.
called particulate matter.
Yeah,
That's
we
what I'm
cannot cough that size out. The 10 nanometer particles, we can
right.
cough it up, but not the 2.5.
You're not coughing it up. It's being
Yeah,
absorbed.
but
I
what I'm
mean,
saying, you can't. The 10.5, you can. It's big enough where you can cough up some of it, but 2.5 is highly dangerous. And this is in the forest fire smoke and in even oil that we're cooking with, because when this thing goes red when I'm cooking, deep frying in my
yeah,
kitchen. But then
yes.
very
Well,
fast, if I have my cold oxygen plasma there, the unit, it gets rid of that out of the atmosphere because it goes back green very, very quickly and takes a smell of like bacon out of the air
it will
very fast.
well this process will neutralize any smell. I'm working with a good friend of mine right now from California, where he's got friends that are firemen fighting the fire down in California, which is horrible. I don't know how many people are on here from California, but that's what it's going to do to these people. They're all going to start developing coughs. That's the beauty of my process. It's cleansing your lungs. It's treating your lungs. I've sold these to my good buddy. Has a friend that had a fireman. He had that cough. It cured his cough months and months
It,
and months ago.
it did.
Yes, it cured his cough.
Well, even
Uh,
Pam's mom with the COPD,
I just
it's been no probably 4 or 5 months now. Has
I
she ever
just
had?
I literally just talked to her the other day. Her mom is doing so great. It's been about 5 or 6 months now. She has
Since she has
not
the
had to
unit in her room?
takes no breathing treatments at all. She's 82. She takes no nebulizer breathing treatments where she used to take 3 to 4 every day. She takes none now that she has the cold oxygen plasma unit in her room.
And from
Her
what I
she
know, COPD is supposed to be irreversible because your lungs, from what I read before I found out about COPD and the effect it had, uh, it seems that the only treatment that is medically around is to continue to use a nebulizer to produce
right.
the medicine so you can breathe it in and then it relaxes the lungs so they can actually take a breath, and it gets worse and worse and worse. But with Pam's mom, she almost died from a COPD attack. And then you suggested to Pam that she
No, she
put.
didn't almost die. That was Amber's dad that was in hospice dying.
No,
Or
you said it on I remember it clearly. It was on episode 28, I think, or something. And she said she has dementia, but her mom almost died from a COPD attack. And
I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe
you
a
told her
while
to
ago.
put a
Yeah,
unit in her
yeah,
room, and
yeah,
she did.
yeah,
And
yeah.
after that, she never had another COP, had to use a nebulizer again. And you asked Pam, how often before would she have had to get a nebulizer treatment? And Pam said at least twice a day. And it went to zero.
Sometimes
And
it was
you're
more
saying,
than that. It was on an average of 3 times a day, sometimes 4 times a day.
okay, because she only said over 2 times a day on the show, but
No,
on
yeah,
this
but
show. But if you're saying no, it's been 5 months and she hasn't had any, like this is COPD is supposed to be something that gets worse and worse and there's no cure. If having this little
Well,
unit in your room can do this and stop having to have
well,
these treatments, that tells me that breathing in this cold oxygen plasma is doing something good for
well,
Pam's
yeah,
mom's
she had a vision of clarity. Now her mom also has dementia.
mom.
Said when I talked to her last week, because I started questioning her on how her mom's doing, and she says she's very hard of hearing. She says she just won't wear her hearing aids, and she says it was really strange because she started rattling off a phone number that was like from 20, 30 years ago. She says she gets this clarity of things that just comes in her mind, and she says she's never done that before. So she does seem a little clear. Now science has proven by breathing in this cold plasma, amazing air. I call it the healthiest air in the world. That it boosts your stem cell production too. It increases your blood flow. Uh, there's so many scientific articles on the nature of it. It's the future of medicine. Literally, it's killing cancer cells. I know what it's done for me. I mean, I'm my best testimonial. I mean, because I was so sickly from as a kid having rheumatic fever, I sinus infections, bronchitis. I averaged 3 to 6 times a year with some kind of sickness. And I literally, and I mean, I'm willing to take a lie detector. I've been sick in 18 years and I don't take anything. I haven't had a shot. I don't do anything. Okay, which for my health, I'm just lucky at that point, you know. Um, I had I was in the furniture business and the car business most of my life. Those are the two most toxic places on the planet. Long-term exposure to those chemicals create kidney disease, liver disease, and cancer. Well, I've had cancer, prostate, fifth stage prostate cancer. I had kidney disease down. My kidneys only operated at 30%. That's come back to almost 50%, which is unheard of for your
Mhm.
kidneys. I beat fifth stage prostate cancer. My PSA, which most men know what that is, was running 15. Now it's 0.00. So they say I'm kind of a walking miracle, and I kind of want to attribute to breathing this air because I've been breathing this air for 18 years. It's kind of the same analogy. If people are very sick and they go to the hospital, first thing they do is they put an oxygen mask on them to get this pure oxygen so they can get it into their bloodstream. Well, this cold oxygen plasma is getting in my bloodstream every single day of my life. And that's what people have to realize. They use it for wound healing. Um, the lady Donna you mentioned out of Canada, your friend, she's a doctor at Alberta University. When I talked, she's the one that had the plant issue. Well, I talked to her and she had skin lesions. She has skin ulcers. And these are clearing up her skin ulcers. She's had very severe respiratory issues, and that's getting better and better and better. She says she still has a little cough, but not anywhere close to what it is. Now, she's in her later 60s, I believe. Well, it takes time for it to do its thing, you know. It's just the thing people got to realize we got to control the mold issues. If we can control this, can control your whole interior environment of your home. You have no more odor. People will notice that, like your shoes will have no more odor to them. You can physically see it do its thing. You know, the problem, Michelle, I've sold these to hundreds of them to people throughout the country over the years. People don't pay attention to when they don't sick. You don't, you pay attention when you do get sick. And I've talked to people that have used them for years. Well, gee, yeah, God, it's weird. No, I haven't been sick in a couple of years. I just talked to this gentleman. He says, yeah, I generally don't get sick anyhow. I says, well, let me ask you, you have pets? He says, yeah, I got two mastiffs and two cats, and neither one, four animals, none of them have been sick. I got two cats that are 14, 15 years old. They haven't been sick either. Now, what's ravaging the country right now is the bird flu. And they just had people die because it affects dogs and cats also. Do you have that going on in Canada right now, Michelle?
Not that I know of.
Okay,
But
well, you ought
Canada
to look.
because of the cold spells we have here. I think we see less of that kind of issue because
No,
in the
no, you
deep
don't. Just
cold,
they
in the
just
deep freeze, everything gets gets
it
killed.
doesn't. No, that
No,
unfortunately
there's some. It
that
gives us respite from like if it's a tropical area, you never have anything dying off with the cold, right? But here we kind of get things kind of get back to brought down when it gets a little colder. That's
well,
what I feel anyway.
flu is raging in the United States. All flus, the respiratory, about 4 or 5 different flus are going like crazy right now. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when there will be another pandemic sometime.
Well,
That's what they're talking.
I hope people are gonna listen to what you're sharing here tonight, Ron, because even yesterday I had a friend who visited me from Toronto, and when I mentioned to him what this does, he was going, "Why haven't we heard about it before?" And this is the same thing I said to you on episode 20 of this podcast when I asked you the same question. What? Wait. Why is it that we haven't heard about this? And
People have asked me that
and
question for
and,
10
and
years.
so yeah, so on episode 34 of this podcast back in December, well, I had Pam Heath, who's a returning special guest on the on my show here, and she's just won a battle with stage 3 pancreatic cancer. She's one of my clients, my VIP clients, and what she shared, she got the UV cold oxygen plasma generator because her whole immune system is compromised. And I'm going to be posting on the YouTube channel her promote her share on what she thinks it's doing for her, this unit, because now she is driving a car for Lyft just like Uber. And she said people come in and they, in Jamaican terms we'll say they're rank, they smell really bad, they have bad b, or they're smelling of booze. And she says they'll come into her car and in no time flat the smell is not there, and when they leave her car the smell leaves with them, which if you
Yeah,
know when
people need
people
to know
have,
we're talking about a car unit. We
yeah,
make
there's
them
a
for the
car unit
car.
that's
I don't
like,
think they can see it, but
yeah, they can
so
see
if
it. Hold it closer to you, hold it
we
closer to you.
we make a unit for the car. We
Looks
make
like
a
a
unit.
computer mouse.
Yeah, it's a little bit large. We make a unit for the car also.
She loves it. She
So
says it doesn't make any noise and it's amazing and she knows it works. And when she moved into her new place, it smelled like something died behind the walls. It was so bad she complained to the management about it, and it was going on for months. And she said she got the PR unit in, and she says the smell went away. She says she has
yeah,
no
this will
smells in
remove.
her house. She has no smells in her car. And
Yeah,
she knows it's
this.
doing something for her body and keeping her safe as well.
Yeah, that's when people have. A lot of times I sell them to people that really don't have any real serious medical issues, but yeah, this is for preventative. I keep saying this statement: "You're never sick till you're sick."
Well, Pam has
Okay.
it a
I,
different way. She
I
says, Pam said it's a different way. She says, this thing, when I look at the list, there's things I don't even know about that it tells me it's getting rid of. She says, so I don't even
right.
worry anymore because I know it's taking care of everything. And
Well,
it's
yeah,
true.
but that's the reason I try to. It drives me nuts because I've helped so many people, but they don't pay attention. They have it. It's not like they're pushing them because they're healthy and they don't realize what's keeping them healthy. That's the issue also. I just want people to understand that these air purifiers that they're pushing on people do nothing for you. They can actually do more harm than good. There is no air purifier on the planet that can sterilize. This is not an air purifier, it's a sterilizer. It sterilizes everything in your atmosphere, including you, your body, your lungs. Because if you're out at work, and your neighbor at work has some kind of cold or flu, and you get it and you pick it up, and it's in your nasal or your lungs before it gets in your bloodstream. When you come home and breathe that plasma purified air, it's killing. If it didn't get in your bloodstream, it's killing it before it gets in your bloodstream. I've had numerous people that bought one after the fact. They've had COVID or pneumonia. They buy a unit, and I offer money back guarantees. Well, they get better in a day or two. Okay, so this has been consistent on what this unit can do for people. And
Mm-hmm.
I do give a money back guarantee, so no one has anything at to risk,
Mm-hmm.
but they really need to think about their future, especially families with children. I mean, children's immune system and their lungs are still fragile. If they're breathing in that radon and that mold, that's what's starting and jump starting diseases in children. They get jump started. It doesn't happen by accident. Okay, if they're born with certain diseases, it's because the mother passed it on and she breathed in those pollutants, and it's in her system because they found hundreds of chemicals in umbilical cords of babies. You know, I mean, asthma is one of the big things that affects children. Asthma is on the rise. Okay, it always has been. It exponentially grows every single year. Now, this will treat asthma. I've sold these to asthma patients that are off their inhalers,
Oh,
because,
wow.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I took her a couple weeks. She's 13 years old, had severe asthma. A lot of people are bashful and won't come on and do testimonials, but these are people that I know for a fact, and I'm not about to perjure myself on
Mm-hmm.
anything that I do. And that's why I do offer a money back guarantee. But
Mm-hmm.
we've helped people that have lung issues. Lung issues, like I said, your lungs are the engine of your body. Okay, now people pulmonary fibrosis, which is a disease which is hardening of the lungs. I've sold a few people a unit at, well, because you mentioned, Michelle, how that cheese was still kind of
Yes. Yes.
moist. Well, that's what it did to his lungs because um, pulmonary fibrosis is hardening of the lungs. It's like scar tissue on your lungs. It makes it very difficult to breathe. It's hard, makes it firm. Well, by breathing this plasma purified air, it made him more supple. He could breathe. And these are people that had it for years, and so I just know what it's done for so many people in the years that I have been involved in this. You brought up a subject. How come people don't know about it if it's so good? Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's not sold over the counter. There's only one company in the world that holds a patent to this exact technology. Now one small little unit, which is about the size of a toaster. I don't know if you have a picture to show. It's blurry, so I really can't. But one unit will do a 3 to 4,000 square foot home or building. It seeks and destroys. There's no filters. There's no maintenance. But that's why there's no way to describe this thing on a box. If it was sitting on a shelf, it tells you it kills bacteria, viruses, mold, and all this. Well, so does a $99 air purifier. Okay, but they're lying. They're literally lying. Okay, so there's no way to really to show this technology without educating people on it. The company is a global company, and this is just one particular product they make, is they do units that I'll say the size of a refrigerator that could do 1 million square feet, which they have done. Heathrow Airport in England uses their product. Many
Is it?
hospitals use them.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
yeah. They use them in all their bathrooms. All their
Oh.
bathrooms have them. This eliminates any bathroom odor, period. See, that's kind of my issue with the company, Biozone Scientific International. They promote odor control. Okay. Um, I've done my research. I promote health control. All right. Because this can be the answer to everybody's health. If everyone had one of these in their home, this should be the new necessity of life. Think about this. If you had one in your home, anything that can affect you, kills all viruses in less than a second.
Mm-hmm.
0.44 of a second it kills. So it's killing all viruses, it's killing all bacteria, it's killing all toxic gases, including carbon monoxide, mustard gas, cyanide, anything that can kill you. And it's all on my website. You'll see everything on the website. And I have every documentation from every major large scientific laboratory in the world that have tested it and endorsed it. Now, when all these other companies test their so-called air purifiers, they're what they call shoebox testing. They test it in like a closet or literally a small box where they put a petri dish. This company's tested in everyday life atmosphere, like hospital wards, concert halls, auditoriums. That's the test. And they have all the documentation to show what it's done, so
Mhm.
it can save people's lives too. It can literally save people's lives besides making them very healthy. So I'd love to be able to show different experiments that we've done when we can do it for people. Of course, that's one thing when people get in their home, I tell them the first thing to do. People say, "How do I know it's working?" Well, take and put a piece of cheese, just like you did, on top of the unit. It will never grow mold. I tell people, take your stinkiest pair of shoes, okay, and put one shoe a few feet from the machine, and take another shoe and put it at the far end of your house, which is 2, 3, or 4,000 square foot home. That first shoe will become odorless. That
Mhm.
second shoe, in a matter of a week or 2 or 3, will become odorless too, because this technology goes with airflow. It will fill your whole home. A lot of people get mold in their ventilation systems. Okay, same in your cars. I got off the subject, but cars carry a lot of mold in their ventilation systems. You get wet feet, your carpeting and stuff. You don't realize it, but there's mold in your automobiles too. So this will protect it from that too. But this is the answer. This is the answer to protecting humanity. Uh, but that's why people need to be educated. There's no way to educate it by just putting it on a box. So that's what we're here for, Michele, you and
Yeah,
me.
yeah, for sure. I think, it's something that we need to have more, share more of,
We need
you
to
know.
do an art. We need to do one on cancer, okay? Because they're literally now this process is being used for killing cancer. Well,
Well,
unfortunately, I
there's
can't find any.
plasma oncology now, right?
Say what now?
Plasma oncology, they call it.
Well,
It's
yeah, what
all
they
about,
do, it will kill the cancer cells, but doesn't affect the good cells.
right.
In fact, it helps the cells. It helps the good cells. That's the beauty of the process. So that's why a
Yeah,
lot of times they're using it when they do surgery on people. Um, they have it looks like a big ballpoint pen, and they go around the wound where they cut it out, where they can't clean the cancer cells, and it kills all the cancer cells. But I have
right.
I have friends that had melanoma, which it healed their wounds up. Keep in mind, this is used for wound healing. So
Yeah,
people that have exposed wounds or burn victims, or any kind of skin wounds, this heals. It's like your doctor friend in Canada has the skin lesions. She's
yeah.
had them for
So,
years, and
you're saying about whether or not we could show what this does. There's a video I can show right now if it's only 3 minutes.
go ahead.
You know,
Sure.
so let's go with it then.
Cold oxygen to one. Let's
Yeah.
explore the fascinating world
Needs to
of
be louder.
matter.
Okay, okay.
Plasma is man-made. To understand it better, let's first all states of matter. The molecules are tightly packed together. We add heat, the ice melts into liquid water, where the molecules move more freely. Adding more heat turns the water into gas, with molecules moving rapidly and spreading apart. Now, if we add even more energy to that gas, we get plasma, the fourth state of matter. Expose that plasma to air, and we get cold oxygen plasma. Plasma exists in both hot and cold forms. In the universe, hot plasma is much more common, accounting for 99.9% of all matter. On Earth, you can find hot plasma in high-energy environments such as lightning, arc welding, and nuclear reactions. It involves extremely high temperatures, resulting in highly energetic plasmas. On the other end of the thermometer, cold plasma exists at or near room temperature. The temperature of cold plasma ranges from 104 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot plasma ranges from 10,000 to billions of degrees. Cold plasma rarely occurs in nature. Phenomena like the light from a flame, the outer edge of lightning bolts, comet tails, the mysterious St. Elmo's fire, and the mesmerizing northern lights are examples of naturally occurring cold plasma, while fluorescent and neon lights and plasma balls are examples of man-made cold plasma. Introducing cold oxygen plasma, a revolutionary form of cold plasma created through advanced physics, chemistry, and engineering science. This specialized form of electrified oxygen is generated by exposing air to a cold plasma reactor. producing a synergistic blend of oxygen molecules, atomic oxygen, and other highly reactive oxygen radicals, all working together in harmony. Recent scientific studies by the National Institute of Health have proven cold oxygen plasma will be the future of medicine. Currently, it is being used to cure cancer, heal wounds, combat viruses, control infections, sterilize medical surfaces, and assist asthma sufferers. Its unique properties allow it to interact with contaminants while protecting biological tissues in ways that other methods cannot, effectively dissolving toxins and pollutants, eliminating bacteria, mold, radon, viruses, toxins, removing PFAS from water, and promoting skin healing. No other process removes toxins from air. This perfect mixture of ions, electrons, and reactive oxygen species offers protection from these adversaries in a new and exciting manner. The journey of cold oxygen plasma from concept to application has been remarkable. First developed in the 1990s, it was initially explored for its sterilization capabilities in manufacturing computer chips. Over time, its use has expanded into many fields, including medicine, with applications such as wound healing, instrument sterilization, acne treatment, dental cavity sterilization, and innovative cancer therapies. Beyond medical applications, cold oxygen plasma has also been developed for food safety, where it helps extend the shelf life of products without chemicals. As research continues, the potential applications of cold oxygen plasma grow, offering new solutions for scientific, medical, and technological challenges. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of cold oxygen plasma. Be excited about the future with us. Life is simply amazing.
That was a great one to show. That kind of explains a lot of it for people.
It does,
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to do more of that. That was good. Maybe we should show that before we talk.
I think it's a good thing to do.
I want to explain one thing to people. Hopefully people are listening to this and they're going to do their own research. You're going to hear a lot of these air purifiers use the word ionization, ionizers. That's their claim to fame, the ionization process. This is not ionization. And you got to understand ionization, explain a little bit about it, because if you're researching it, this is what they don't tell you. The theory with ionization is because particulate matter is so small that it goes right through their HEPA filter systems. So ionization magnetizes the particles so they clump together, so the clumps are bigger, so the filter captures it. That's their so-called claim to fame. But what they're not telling you is it's magnetizing all the particles in the room and it's falling out of the air and it's being stuck. It's sticking to everything in the room, including you, your body, and your lungs. Okay. It does not kill effective anything in the room. It doesn't kill any toxic gases. That's the lies. Okay. No air purifier, even though they say it kills toxic fumes and toxic gases. Okay. And there's no air purifier that can capture them. Keep in mind, if it can't vacuum it in through that little tiny fan and underneath that so-called light, it's doing zero. R seeks and destroys. There's no fans for it to suck anything in. There's a lightweight little tiny fan inside of it like a computer fan, but you don't feel it. There's no flow there. Okay. So this process, it takes time for it to build up in your atmosphere. It seeks and destroys, but it's instantaneous. It kills viruses. Like let's say there's going to be a pandemic, which sooner or later there's going to be another flu outbreak or whatever. You cannot spread it. It kills it instantly in the air before it could reach the next person. They've tested it. Numerous scientific laboratories tested it. It killed it on every surface they tested it on. It killed it in less than a second. Okay. There is nothing else known to man that you can do this with. And this is safe. Like I say, it's safe. I haven't shut my machine.
Well,
And the only maintenance is a bulb every 2 or 3 years, period.
the thing I say though, at the beginning of the show, we said tonight that you have to pay to get the radon levels in your home. And instead of doing that, if you have one of these units, you don't have to really worry about it.
You really don't have to worry about it. no.
So instead of spending $200, $300 to test your house for radon gas, you could just put that towards the purchase of a unit, and you have so many other things that are taken care of with just the purchase of this little unit. And it's
Right,
less than $1,000 Canadian, and definitely less in American dollars, right? In US
right,
dollars.
right.
So
Yeah,
it's a no-brainer. You invest in one of these units and it gives you peace of mind. I had a friend who was saying, how come we don't know about this? Why isn't it that this isn't a common household product? And he had a really bad cold. Well, he got it from somebody who works in his business, and he's thinking right now of getting a unit to put in at his place of business, because he said that way he will keep a healthier staff, and also if his clients are ill, they won't pass it on to his staff, and he won't get it from his staff, which is what happened this time.
right.
He was in my house and he says his lungs actually felt better, and he commented on it without me asking. He says, you know what, I think my chest is feeling better actually breathing the air in your house. And the interesting thing is I let my daughter my generator a week or so ago, but it still has the cold plasma in here because it's winter and we have everything locked down. So he noticed a difference. So interesting.
You will. I mean, a lot of people that, let's say, didn't have normal health issues or health issues, they sleep better. A lot of people quit snoring because that's me. See, that's me. I can't live without it. If I don't have it, my nose will run like a faucet, and I'm very nasally, and I got a lot of mucus. Okay, so I literally can't live without it. So I just know what it could do for people, and that's why it's so hard to. There's so much to it, Michelle. How do you tell someone this on a box that it's sold in? That's why it's not sold over the counter. It's been sold to dealers like myself, for years, because it really takes somebody to educate people
Well, the
on
interesting
how to.
thing is, my friend was looking at the box because I still have it, and he said it tells you that it kills viruses, it kills whatever, but he says it doesn't say anything about cold oxygen plasma on the box.
No, but no
He said
one
it
would know
doesn't
what
tell you
that
how
even
it does
means,
it,
though.
right?
No one would even know what that means, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why you didn't know what it was until you met me.
No, I
No
didn't
one.
actually.
Well, there's three different names for it. There's if people research it, it's cold atmospheric plasma or cold oxygen plasma or non-thermal plasma. And that's what they marketed. It's just it's so scientific that it's just hard to how do you put it on a box? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
well, I
just
don't think it's hard to understand, but it's what it is that, it's this product is it's the best thing to slice bread, I think. It's fascinating to me because even in the research article I read where it was talking about the first trial in 2019 for using this in treatment of cancer, official trial, they said that they specifically tested it and it does no harm to the good cells, but it kills the cancer cells.
right,
I read another article because a friend of mine asked, well, you have good bacteria on the eyelids that are essential for you to see properly. And does it kill that? So I went and I searched on the internet and I found a research article. And it specifically says that in their test, there was no effect on the good bacteria on the eyes, but that anything that wasn't good was neutralized. It's fascinating how this can be so specific to be for the well-being of human beings and for animals and
well, the
plants.
beauty is it also kills there's a lot of drug resistant bacteria. This kills even drug resistant bacteria. So that's pretty amazing. I mean, right now, like I said, that H1N1 is going around again big time. I sent you that article on it where a separate company tested it against that back in 2003. That was that article I sent you that used Biozone's unit, and it killed it instantly. And that's the only thing that they found in the world that can do that. There is nothing else in the world that can kill these viruses that you can live with. The only other form of sterilization is chemicals. When you think about your forms of sterilization known to man, I'm talking about real sterilization now.
And
Air
they're not good
purifier
for you
doesn't.
to be around. Just like that
Well, I
lamp.
mean, this is sterilizing your whole interior environment, corner to corner. So what else can do that? There is
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
else in the
nothing
world
else
that
that
can
I
do
know of.
that.
That's why I said it's for peace of mind. You get this
Right,
thing and it's your peace of mind. And
right.
I might be losing friends over this because I had
I
one of
know,
my friends say that, she doesn't want to hear about it because every time she sees me, I'm
I
talking
know.
about it.
I've
But
already lost friends. I've already lost friends
I,
because
I,
it
I,
aggravates me because they got small kids and grandkids that
yeah, but
they're
I
the ones
feel
that.
that this is something that everybody should have because it's a
I know.
no-brainer. Like,
It's
if you can get rid of the toxins out of your atmosphere, then that means your body can go to sleep and immediately start healing, the healing process, because our body heals and replenishes and does all the maintenance to get the cells working and all nice and and rested for the next day. But I read another article recently that said that human beings, there's so many toxins everywhere in the food, in the air, in the whatever, that the body is over the limit of being able to
overload.
handle
Yeah,
the
that.
toxicity. So
Well,
before the body can even heal itself, start healing, it has to deal with all the toxins to get it to a level where the body can start to heal.
people don't understand today. Especially children. There's so many children today that have depression and anxiety and stuff, and it's been proven how it's gotten worse and worse and worse. Well, they've proven it's all coming from all these pollutants, okay, that they've been breathing in, and it's all from within the home or within the schools. It doesn't come from outdoors, pretty much. It comes from indoors. I did a study for these private schools. In fact, I'm working with a Catholic school right now. All these uniforms that these schools have for children are so toxic, they have no idea. So you take a schoolroom with 20, 30 kids in there wearing these uniforms, they're loaded in stain resistant chemicals and fire retardant chemicals are in everything today. Now
Yeah.
you take a schoolroom and you put the mold on top of that, you put a little radon on top of that. It's what's deteriorating humanity. It's been proven
Yeah.
humanity is being deteriorated, you know?
Anyway, we're actually out of
Okay,
time. We
Michelle.
started a bit late because of the technical problems. If you
Yeah.
would like, we can do a sparkle or we can end it here.
I'm gonna go eat. Yeah, I haven't eaten all day.
I hope people who joined today, even on the replay, that you will take a look. We have a lot of the episodes. We've covered different topics over since last June or July when you first came on, Ron. And there are short clips of the episodes on the UVC cold plasma playlist at the Sparkle Experience Show channel on YouTube. So please feel free to go there, or you can go to the sparkleexperienceshow.com website /Ron Levinson, and you can find Ron's phone number there. He says he loves answering questions, especially if it's helping people to make a decision to get one of the units, so he can
And
clear
like
up.
I said, I do give a 30-day money back guarantee on them. So no one's risking anything. No one's ever asked for their money back.
I remember a couple of people coming on the show and they said they actually start buying it to give away because if their loved ones don't want to buy it, they would buy it for them if they can, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll run some kind of specials for people, do different things. We just want people to research us. In fact, my website is uvcoldplasma.com. I don't know if you have that to flash, but on there gives a list of all the different chemicals.
We have information on your page on the Sparkle Experience Show website.
Yeah, if you want to validate anything, just Google cold oxygen plasma for your health and
Yeah,
see
do
all
your
the
own due
thousands.
diligence.
See so many articles pop up.
Ron has expertise. He has a passion to tell you and research all of this and tell you what things are affecting what and how this unit actually helps you. So There's nobody else out there that I know of besides Ron and myself who get on in the public and actually really talk about that there's actually now a solution that will help you to take
And all kinds of
control
extra
of.
benefits. There's so many extra benefits that way. Like they use this for anti-aging, for skin.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
say, it takes the wrinkles. I have no wrinkles in my skin. That people a lot of money for these spa treatments of cold plasma skin treatments. I live in
yeah.
it daily, so I'm
But everybody's looking
surrounded.
for the longevity solution or get keep young solution. But you know, if you don't have your health, if you have your health, that's keeping you younger. If your body can heal itself, it's gonna keep you younger. If you're losing money because you're having to stress out because you have absenteeism in your business, or you get sick when you go to work because other people are sick, or daycare, your kids come home sick, and it's that cycle, this will help you to stop that cycle of illness.
Yes,
And then that's
exactly.
going to translate to money in your pocket,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes.
Better health, better wealth.
Yeah, better,
You know, that's a
exactly.
fundamental.
Sickness costs a lot of
Yeah,
money
you
by
can't help anybody else if you're sick.
just generalities. I mean, what happens when your kids get sick and they have to stay home from school? Someone's got to take care of them, so it costs you
Yeah.
money.
Yeah.
This work costs you money. Buy medicines cost you money.
Anyways, I'm gonna call
Okay.
it tonight then. Thank you very much for coming on. And Ron, it has been a pleasure as always. So
All right.
do
Talk soon.
keep well, and we'll see you the next time.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye for now,
Take
everybody.
care, everybody.